Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more buckshot patterning, and it is a hot one out here today. But I've still got several tests that I want to run out here today for you guys, so we're out here braving the heat and humidity anyway. But as far as the load we're going to be testing today, as I was digging in the ammo cabinet, I had found a couple old boxes of buckshot. We did already test the Federals from the 80s. If you haven't seen that video, I'll leave the card above for it. But I also found another old school load. And those loads are some of these old school things. The original Winchester Double X Magnum buckshot loads here. They are a 12 gauge, 3-inch, double-aught buck load of copper plated buckshot here. But these are 15 pellets as to where we've tested a whole bunch of 12 pellet loads so far. So we have a few more pellets in these shells. So we'll see if it makes the difference. And it's got a pretty neat little diagram on the back here of how they're loaded. But as you might be able to see up at the top here, it suggests a full choke for hunting deer and things like that. So that's what we're going with as per usual. And as for our setup, I've got the Remington 1187 Premier out here again with that factory full choke in the gun. It's a 688 constriction choke. And up on top, I have a Leupold VX1. It's a 2-7 by 28. Technically, it's a rimfire scope, but Leupold builds them to the same quality with the same internals as their rifle and shotgun scopes. So it's been great so far, but we're testing it to see if it can actually hold up on a shotgun like this. So as for our target today, it's going to be set up at 40 yards. I do have the chronograph as well that we will be shooting it across. Since those don't have a posted box velocity, we will actually be able to see how fast they're moving. I'll set you guys up on the chronograph since there's really not going to be anything for you to see as I shoot the target. But after we take a look at our chronograph numbers, we'll go down and take a look at our overall pattern. Then I've got a 10 and a 30-inch circle template we can lay over top, as well as a deer torso and a hog torso template as well. So let's go over here and get set up in front of the chronograph and take our shot and see how these old school Winchester Double X loads do down there at 40 yards on the paper. Alright, so those loads gave us 1,297 feet per second across our chronograph. Not the fastest we've seen, but definitely one of the harder recoiling buckshot loads that I've shot in a good while for sure. Probably to do with having more pellets. It's 15 as per 12 usual pellets that we've tried already. But once again, nothing too special to see. It's about average for what I would expect out of a buckshot load so far anyway. So let's go see how they did down there on the paper. Alright, so here's our 40-yard target, and here's how they did. That white dot you see in the center of the paper here, that was my point of aim. So as we back up here, this is a 36 wide by roughly 36-inch tall piece of paper, and we do have all 15 pellets on this sheet of paper here. And it definitely doesn't look too bad as far as the overall size of the pattern. However, our core area here in the middle, kind of where we would like our pellets to be, is not really too impressive. Everything is either a little bit above or a little bit below our point of aim here. So definitely pretty interesting to start out with here. So let's grab a couple templates and lay them up here and see how it did within some circles and on some animal torsos. Alright, so here we have a 10-inch circle that I squared up with our point of aim here, and we have 2 pellets in the upper portion of this 10-inch circle here. Definitely not ideal to start out with, I don't think. But let's grab our 30-inch circle template and throw that up here and see how it did in a 30-inch circle. Alright, so here's our 30-inch circle, and I roughly centered that point of aim up in the middle of this circle, and we have 14 out of our 15 pellets within that 30-inch circle. The other pellet is hiding right up here behind this gray portion of the template, but overall, definitely not too terrible as far as numbers go in the circle. But yet again, where I think we're going to see some of our not so great performance is right here in this core area of the pattern, right where we would want our pellets to be. So let's get a couple animal templates up here and see how it would have done on some deer and some hogs. Okay, so now we're looking at our deer template here. Once again, the white spot was my point of aim, so I lined it up with roughly the shoulder vitals area there. His head and neck area goes up to the right here, and of course we have his front leg down here. And as you can see here, we have 10 pellets on the deer template here. So we have 5 pellets outside of this template around here. So that means we have 5 pellets that did not hit this deer. But as for our vital area there, we do have a couple of them right around here that would have gotten the job done. We do have one a little bit farther up in the neck, one that probably touched spine down here, and the rest of them down here just are front leg and very, very low bottom edge of the gut area. But overall, I don't think it's necessarily ideal, but I think it would get the job done on a deer. But you may have to track this one a little ways depending on how hard you actually hit him and how close range you actually hit him with the pellets you do have here. But all in all, it's not quite as bad as what I thought it was going to be. So let's throw our hog template up and see if we would have had a dead hog or not. All right, so now we're looking at our hog template here. And if I line my point of aim up with roughly the front shoulder vitals area there, we do have his legs down here at the bottom and his head and neck area over here towards the right. We have 13 of our 15 pellets within the template here. However, a good 3 or 4 of them are down here in this front leg area here. So they're not really doing anything all that great for us. But as far as vitals goes here, we definitely have one right up here and maybe a second right over here that would have gotten something as far as vitals. This one up here may have gotten some kind of a neck vein of sorts, along with maybe this guy. But overall, I think it would get the job done. But knowing how tough these hogs are, I would probably feel a little bit more comfortable having at least 2 or 3 more pellets right in that lung heart area there. This is not bad, and it will definitely be a dead hog, I do believe. But once again, you may be chasing this one down quite a ways. Although I do think he would probably have a broken front leg there for sure. But it's not terrible, but it's not great either. But at the end of the day, I definitely think it will get the job done for you. All right, well, what do you guys think about it? How did these old school Winchester Double X buckshot loads perform? I don't think they did terribly. I also don't think they did quite as well as something like the Winchester Supremes did. These will absolutely get the job done for you, but I don't think I would really want to push it too much past 40 yards here. I think this is about the limit with this choke and this gun. But what do you guys think about it? Is this a load that you would use, or do you like the little bit more open spread that has? Or have you used these old school loads like this to take a deer or a hog or anything like that? But on that note, it is like 90 plus degrees out here and all of the humidity today. And I've still got a couple more tests I need to film out here. So I'm going to jump back to it. Stay tuned because we've got plenty more coming. And I'll see y'all in the next one.